at that. What I don't. What do you? Are you cleaning something? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you
cleaning off my lens. I had a little bit of time, so.
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
I want to first apologize for everybody that we are a little bit late. Thank you all for being patient. I do apologize. Hopefully, anybody who is watching this, well, they don't have to wait. Whoever is watching it after the fact, but yeah, let's go. Let's go, Larry. Are you ready?
Derek, you have got to be better about being timely. You understand? You've got to do better, man. I can't keep covering for you like this. All right, let's go on. Let's move on.
Yeah, because it wasn't me. I was already in here. So welcome to Extra Sauce, or Extra Sony After Hours Support, as everybody calls it. We call it SOS for short, because, you know, everywhere you work, you always got to have a bunch of acronyms to make things complicated for anybody on the outside who doesn't know what's going on. But my name is, wait, what's that? What? Can people hear you, John? Hey,
he's been hanging out with me too much.
Yeah, John, you can't talk unless they can hear you. So that's the new rule. But my name is Derek, and with me is the other guy,
Larry. Always on time, Larry. What's up?
Always on time, Larry, who's always wants. He's got to make sure he's ready for the camera. But there are a lot of questions in here, and I kind of want to get started because there's some stuff that's already been in here. People have been patient. Thank you so much. If you are new here, here's the premise of what we're doing. We want to be a good connection point for you, our customers, fans, whoever you happen to be. Thank you for being here. Let us know if you have any questions or comments about Sony, need some help with something, some advice on something. We'll do our best to answer. Now, a couple of things. There are some things we cannot talk about due to specific rules, especially about new products. So you can ask, but don't expect an answer. In addition, sometimes we may not have the answer, or it may require a lot more back and forth between us. So there is an email address. I believe it's pinned. Looks like it's pinned in the top comment. So feel free to send us an email as well. Or if you're watching this after the fact, you can leave a comment as well. And Larry should be responding to that.
Wow. Man, it's wow, I'm getting hit in multiple ways today. That's cool.
Yep. Yeah. It's all good. Nothing but love. That's what it is.
I mean,
all right.
I was here last week ready to speak to everyone, but someone wasn't.
Yeah, I was not. I was not available for once. So that happens.
So I'm just saying.
So, okay, let's get going with some of the questions. Michael Beckerman popped in first with a couple of, one question to start. Then we'll go through. We'll talk about your stuff, your questions. And just to give you a heads up, I know there's some stuff that I can't really go into detail, or I don't have the full answer. I already have snipped an image of your questions, and I have already sent them out. So hopefully we'll have something to share, if not during this show, in the near future. So Mr. Michael Beckerman says, I saw a countdown timer in there. Oh, that's the part of it. Okay. But he's looking for a way to have the TV automatically shut off at a specific hour every day. Now, you were looking in the right place, but I also do not see any way to turn off the TV at a specific time. Those of you who want a little bit of context, there are a couple of options when you go to the quick settings, and you can go to either the sleep timer, or alarm. They'll all actually bring you to the same menu. And you can set an alarm at a certain time. You can actually have the TV automatically turn on at a certain time. And then, of course, sleep timer is the long-standing, I'm going to sleep with the TV on, and you can set it to automatically turn. Why am I getting so many notifications? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, all the way up to, I think, like 2 hours, I believe. But I was not able to find anything that lets you turn off the TV at a specific time. So I'll double check on that, but I don't believe there is an option for that. Unless, Larry, you know otherwise?
Nope.
Okay. Very good.
I'm actually I'm actually messing with mine right now, just trying to make sure there wasn't anything.
Yeah, I dove in because I had some time earlier.
Dang,
15 minutes of time.
Again? What's the statute
but-
of limitation on that, man? Good grief.
There isn't one. But yeah, so just a shout out to everybody that's here. A lot of names that I'm familiar with. So Michael Beckerman, hello. Ronan stopped in to say hello, had to peace out. So hopefully you have a great time traveling and enjoy training, because that's always fun.
Sure.
Will in the house, giving us a hard time already. I love it. Heaven, Ariana. Hey guys. Hello, welcome back. Let's see who else do we have. Lots of comments from the same people. Joey B in the house flexing. Daz, Mac, Prepetit H, I guess. Welcome.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't know. I apologize if I said it wrong, but welcome to everybody. Thanks for being here. We do appreciate it. And just to kind of throw this out there as well, likes and of course subscribes, they're always good for us. Lets our boss know that you guys want us to keep doing this, and we'll make the time to do so. Cool.
Sure.
Have you looked at the questions yet?
I have not, dude. Like,
Larry.
No, I haven't.
Well, I'm just going to
looking at
keep
it now,
talking. I
though.
know people are probably like, man, this guy won't shut up. Let the other guy talk. But
No,
we'll
no
start
one said
diving
no
in.
one. But yes.
Yeah. All that. Mozart's Ghost is back. Welcome back. All right. So I wanted to address Heaven's question here. It was addressed by a couple of people. So thank you. This is what's great about the community too, is that you guys are fantastic about kind of helping answer a lot of these questions as well, which is awesome. And I love to see that. So thank you so much. The question was around the Bravia 3 having the speaker technology that when you're watching something that the sound kind of follows the object on the screen. The Bravia 3 kind of has more of your traditional speakers, as Michael Beckerman stated. So it doesn't have the acoustic multi-audio like the X90L has, where it actually has they're kind of on the back up towards maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way up on the back, kind of firing out to kind of give you that extra sense of space and helps give you that better stereo imaging. So still sounds great, but of course, if audio is important, you definitely might want to consider doing soundbar if you're looking for more. Cool. All right, so I want to get that out of the way. Let's talk briefly, because this has come up a couple of times. A couple people are asking about some dates.
Yes, let's talk dates.
So the competitor has announced embargo on their 2025 TVs. When will Sony do it? Oh, I'm hearing about this date, and this is an event, and I'm waiting for this date. Best thing I can say is make sure that you are subscribed to both Sony Connect, Sony support channel that you're watching this on now, as well as the Sony Electronics page as well. And, pretty much any of the Sony channels, if you want to know what's going on. So when something is going to be announced, you'll probably hear about it there. So.
You are 2 for 2 on sound advice today. That's really good.
2 for 2. All right. Man, I'm crushing it today. Okay.
Yeah. You see what I did? See? Come on, man. I'm on it.
I like John throwing in jokes that nobody can hear.
That
and then Larry's like,
hear.
yeah, I know what you're saying, John. That's awesome. And then nobody has context.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. So, Will, let's talk a little bit about some of these things. Larry, I'll probably need your backup on a couple of these because I'm not 100%, but there are a couple of things here. And I know you brought up some of this before, Will. So I haven't gotten any additional information, but I will follow. I already did actually follow up because you kind of put them concisely together. So it was easy to snip and share that. But let's start at the top. Sony support rep, when you call support, said the A95L will run the pixel refresh rate in the background no matter how the TV is turned off. Stated on here, it has to be from an IR code, which is correct. Is that something that, what do you get to say on that? Because
so my understanding with that auto panel refresh, so if you use any voice commands or anything like that, like even if you use Bravia Connect app to power off your television, it doesn't send that panel refresh. It doesn't set up your TV for that auto panel refresh. You have to use the Sony included remote in order to trigger that. So that is my understanding, 100% fact of the way it needs to roll.
Okay.
So
I'll trust you on that one. I actually don't know specifically
It's
on
dangerous.
that one. So.
It's dangerous to trust me. Yeah, no, but that is something. As far and as far back, what I will say is this is back in the K series. So I think I talked about that up with my A95K because that TV I typically use voice commands to turn on, turn off, and so on and so forth. And that was the last information. So unless something has drastically changed from the K, which I doubt it, that still holds true.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Okay. And next question is, can you explain the numbers basically in the service menu? And I'll tell you what, I have never accessed the service menu. I'm not familiar with it. I know the concept, I know how it works, but it's not something that's recommended for users. Just to put that out there. You do run the risk of potentially damaging your TV if you accidentally change something in that. So in no way in form do we condone doing it. Now, understanding that, I'm guessing just based on Will Tech alone and your questions, you're pretty confident in doing what you're doing. So that is entirely up to you. However, I have never seen it myself. And because it's not typically shown to customers, I don't know if it's information that can be shared. But I will inquire. So we'll see if we can find out something for you, especially if it's kind of specifically what you're looking at regarding like uptime and panel time and stuff like that. I'll have to find out. I've actually never seen the service menu myself. So honestly, I'm too scared to ruin my TV because, I love it.
I thought I was living dangerously by putting my TV into developer mode.
That's nowhere near the same.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very different thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, and then similarly, you kind of follow up there, Will, with the A95L is supposed to run an auto full panel refresh after 2,000 hours. Does it happen automatically? Conflicting info online. Some say they have seen count increase in the service menu. Others have thousands of hours and it's zero panel refresh.
I was looking at that question, and I think we should. That's another one for us to take back. It was my understanding that we never, and I'm saying we because I don't know what any other support platform has provided, but it was my understanding we never talked specifics with respect to number of hours. I think we would talk in general terms, but the demands or requirements, for example, on A95L may differ from like an A80 or an A90K or whatever the case may be. So we didn't want a blanket number. I know I've heard 2000 as well. That's sort of a general rule of thumb. But it also may depend on the demands of the TV. For example, if you're someone at home watching your television in vivid versus someone that watches it in professional or cinema mode, I think the impact and the demands on the panel may differ. Thus, understanding that the processor is always reading the panel health may trigger that process sooner and or later. So that's definitely a JT and Trey question that we can follow up on. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's it does sound like a de facto generic number. I don't think it was ever officially stated from us, but I could be wrong. But I know, we've had OLEDs for years, and I don't know if it's changed. But I think to your point, I think there is a big factor in it based on how you're using it. Somebody who's cranking max brightness and vivid, that's a lot more strain on the panel itself. Versus somebody who's, I'm typically running Dolby Vision Dark when I'm watching content, and I'm actually running a professional or custom on other things, and brightness is usually 20, 25. Yep. So yeah, it could be a very big difference, but I see where your curiosity is and makes me kind of wonder about it too. So we'll see if we can find out some stuff, and if there's something that we can share, we can definitely do that as well.
Good call.
All right. So Michael Beckman said, congratulations on the 100,000. Yeah, we did make it, which is great. We're over that now by a bit, and we still want to continue to grow, of course. And I want to thank everybody who has supported us along the way. Those of you here, a lot of familiar names. So thank you so much. John, I think this is a good time to kind of just review really quick the winners in case you missed it when we did announce it, just as a reminder to reach out to us if you have not already. Oh, John's going to reach out to you. So do you want me to then say the winners again then? Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, he's showing it. All right. Well, there you go. There it is right there. Congratulations to these 7 people. Creator by Default with an ES Car Audio Upgrade Kit. Tammy Parrish with the Bravia Theater Bar 9. Low Phil with the Bravia Theater U. Jose CIX1 with a that's a Bluetooth turntable. Keep it simple. Say 357 with Link Buds Open. Michael Beckerman, Link Buds Fit. And Suede Pup with an Alt Field 1. So super cool. So congratulations on that. Hope you enjoy them and get a bunch of use out of it. And yeah, John's going to reach out to the winners that he has not spoken with yet on whatever's next. I don't know. All right. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, goodness. There's more stuff coming in. More people popping in.
Love it.
Smokes is here. Andrew B. Welcome. All right. Did I miss any questions at this point?
Nope.
No, really?
Trying to make sure.
All right.
Heaven Ariana says, and you may have already, I'm sorry, I was in deep thought a second ago. Does the Bravia 3 have the speaker? Oh, you already answered that. Never mind. I'll move on.
Thanks for joining us, Larry.
You're welcome. Dude, I was deeply focused on trying to get, anyway, I am having technical difficulties. Like, I mean, full transparency, I wanted to share a screen today of the TV so we could talk about some things, but this tech is really kicking my feet right now.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. All right, yeah, but let us know if you have any questions. Like I said in the chat here. Let's see. Max says, could Sony improve the OLED panel compensation times like the other OLED brands that do a great job? Not sure I fully know what you mean by that, but feel free to expand on that. Or, of course, you can send us an email if there's like links and stuff that you want to share. We can look into. I know Sony is obviously always looking to improve the panel performance overall as time goes on. So I'm sure there's something that's being considered, but I don't know the details. But good question. But if you do have any more context, that'd be great. All right, Joey B says, and I'm not sure I understand all these acronyms. So, Larry, I need you. Are you focused?
Okay.
Are you here? You here with me? Yes.
I'm here.
All right,
here
we go. Okay. Any chance of the XBA line of IEM making a return? The IER line is pricey and great, but hoping for a more consumer-friendly set available.
Yeah, and that's XBA is our balanced armature earbuds. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. So it's very interesting. That's a very interesting question. Is there any chance? I'm not sure, right? Because we haven't been a part of those conversations. But here's what I will tell you, sort of a philosophy that we're starting to hear from a lot of people. This even is on the imaging solution side or the camera side of business. There was this very niche group that wanted these absolute professional monitoring headphones, our professional level cameras, so on and so forth. But then there's this larger audience that have become more enthusiasts. They were once hobbyists, right? So now they're more enthusiasts. So they're looking for prosumer level products. So if you kind of look at what we've been doing, for example, with the MDR line, going from the, John, I'm gonna do it again, 7506, right? Did I say it right this time? Yes, 75. Okay. So from 7506 to like MDR M1 and M1R, we've been trying to take some of our studio monitoring headsets and make them more prosumer level. So it's not limited to just people that work in the studio or working on sets or so on and so forth. Those, look, the utilization of that, the XBAs, they came in that really nice case and the velvet inside. And oh man, it was super ultra premium. Okay, John, you can't talk right now because no one can hear you. So stop interrupting me. So, just kidding. But and Derek and I can we've been having calls with those groups, and we can find out if there is an appetite for that, or are we trying to take some of that high quality, high performance, but bring it down to more consumer packaging, meaning product materials and also cost, right? So anyway, I don't know, but that's a fire product recall there. Thanks for that stroll down memory lane.
That's awesome, man. I feel like I missed so much because I knew the tech, but I haven't been in Sony for a long time. So when people refer to some of these specific models or things, I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, it's snowing today. That's a thing. All right, cool. So let's see what else we got. Where are we? Oh, yes. Okay, so we got Joey, we got Mac. Obviously, if we did not answer your question as clearly as you like, then let us know, either by sending us an email or throwing it in the comments here, and we'll do a better job to clarify some things if you need. Okay, let's see. Can you guys pass it? Michael Beckerman says, can you guys pass along a request to Sony's designers to see if they can add in the ability to schedule a specific shut-off time? Okay, so that'd be handy for many. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely pass it on for sure. That's an easy thing, which is honestly kind of what we're here to do, is kind of be that, give that feedback, any questions that come up. And sometimes there are little things that are one-offs. Sometimes there are things that have been researched. There's a reason they can't, or it's something they haven't thought of before that maybe we can spark some interest in making it happen. So yes, we could pass that along.
Mr. Beckerman, can I give you a homework assignment that you can report back to us on? Using the Google Home app, can you set up an activity that controls power on, power off controls of the TV? I don't know.
I'm going to put my phone down. I was about to look now. I want to know.
Yeah. But let me know if that's an option. If that, I mean, because HVAC, AC units, I have my Nests cut on and off on a schedule, time of day or whatever the case may be. I'm wondering, did I say Nest? Whatever. I'm wondering, they are a partner. They're a partner. They're like a technology partner, but different. But
Andrew B., we see you, not just TV. Yeah. I'll get to your question about camera. Yes, we'll get to you.
Yeah, I saw Andrew's A7C question, but yeah, so Mr. Continue to research on our side, but we will pass along the word. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's good thinking. That there might be a way to do that, because I want to find out too. So we'll see. All right, so Andrew B., yes, it is your turn now. So yes, this isn't just TV. It just tends to dominate the conversation, but we do have a lot of people in here that might be asking about, headphones, wireless speakers, and of course, cameras. So your question here about your Alpha 7C, Alpha 7CR has an issue where it infrequently fails to switch from photo to video, vice versa, when flipping a switch on the top of the camera. Any tips on fixing this? I have not seen that happen, but there are, of course, two things you can try, one of which you did mention, which is the factory reset, which is always a good thing to try. Before you do that, I would check to make sure that your software is up to date as well, because oftentimes imaging products, because they're not always connected to devices, tend to sometimes be forgotten because they don't have automatic updates. So what I would recommend is get to the CR should update through the Creators app, right? That one should be compatible with that. So if you have the Sony Creators app, you can go into there, connect it to your camera, and it should give you the option to update your firmware if you need that update. Otherwise, you can go to Sony support website, look up the Alpha 7 CR, go to downloads, and then you can actually find out. It'll actually have the option to download it there. So if you want to do it manually with a computer, you can. But you can also even just check to see if your version of firmware is the most up-to-date version, or if you need an update. Start there. See if that makes a difference. If not, try a factory reset. If that doesn't, contact support. Don't wait on that if it's an issue, just to make sure it isn't something. Oops, said he did something. Okay. Let's see. Okay, did that. Yeah. So try the factory reset. And if that doesn't work, contact support so you can get a ticket registered in case there's something that needs some sort of repair or whatever. It might be a one-off issue. Sometimes that stuff happens, but I don't want you to be stuck with it in that way. Cool. All right. Michael Beckman asks or states. Oh, was that a question? Did I miss a question about that? Where was there? I don't see the question. Oh, yeah. Okay. Smokes. Mentioned service menu is useful if you run into some sort of memory issues and need to free up space. So I do want to reiterate again, we do not recommend or I don't want to say condone because it's not like we can get you in trouble for doing it, but we do not recommend you access the service menu on your TV. You can accidentally erase the wrong thing and your TV's a brick. And please don't let that happen because that is not something that is covered under warranty. So please do not do it. But again, it is entirely up to you, but please don't. That said, I know generally speaking, Michael Beckman was stating about how you can free up some space. There are a few things that you can delete. Sometimes they have like preloaded demo clips that you can erase. Sometimes you can move some apps to a USB drive as well, which can also free up some space. Not all apps. It is based on the app and what their rules are. Anything else to add to that? Yep. Oh, no.
No. Sometimes just going into the apps and clearing the cache.
Yeah, true. That can help.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I was just kind of thinking you. Yeah, that's it. I'm on kind of a stupid delay right now, so my bad.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Will Tech back with another fiery question. All right. New 895L firmware US. Can you comment on improvements other than vague patch notes, rumors online, and it contained fix for TCON software related errors people are getting? Can you confirm? I cannot. Same information that you have is the same information I have regarding what was in that update. Oftentimes there are kind of generic or general statements of, general performance improvements and things like that, which I don't know what they are. And most of the time I assume they're just not going to ever be publicly disclosed, but honestly, I don't know. I don't expect to have an answer either, but we will find out.
Yeah, we've always used that picture quality, and I think that's what it says in there. We've done that frequently because it may be minor things, right? It may be the adjustments of red gain or green gain in standard mode, which isn't pretty to kind of put in text. It's usually though very, I don't want to say minor things, very impactful things, because we're constantly trying to improve picture quality. But if it's not something that's been classified as a super known issue that we definitely wanted to address, and this update is focused specifically on that, challenges with functionality in game menu, things where random, I think one of the ones I read recently was, depending on which set-top box you had plugged into your TV, it may randomly send a CEC code to turn your TV off. Just weird stuff, right? But those are things that received enough attention that we wanted to make that a line item so people knew that this is what was specifically addressed. Everything else is just our own internal evaluation from a picture quality standpoint. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Andrew also asks, I wonder what you guys think about Sony slowing down on making Blu-ray discs. I'm a bit of a media snob. Fair enough. I know many of those people. And like my films, as the director intended, and physical media is the best for this. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I've got thoughts. Okay. At first, so hear me out, Andrew. At first, I was in front of the locomotive, right? This massive move to streaming and away from physical media. I was like trying to stop that train because I didn't want to give that up. When I realized that I don't have the power to stop a train, and none of us do, what I started to frame my thoughts around is, well, then how do I make this a better train? So preserving creators' intent, preserving more importantly the audio execution that exists in physical media versus streaming. What I'm now hoping for is that streaming can get to the level of physical media. Then it becomes a faster to market, more convenient vehicle to deliver content that we love, right? I'm with you. I, unlike vinyl to MP3 for crying out loud, I think Blu-ray to streaming format could have a home. I've seen some content on Sony Pictures Core that I'm not sure if you've seen any content on there, but I've seen movies on Sony Pictures Core using Pure Stream that I'm wildly impressed with. And we're still early in the development stages of what we can do more, right? Like, I mean, network speeds and network providers are getting faster and providing more data speeds to homes, which will then open up TV technology to do more. You saw HDMI, start focusing on their 2.2, right? That certification coming through mostly around 8K and some PC gaming features. But I see us now progressing to a level where hopefully we can get streaming content that delivers that creator's intent in a pure form, just like on Blu-ray disc. That's what my wish is, because I don't think that it'll be hard pressed to see, a revival of Blu-ray, just because movie studios have realized, and just from my personal opinion, it's cheaper to stream the content than it is to print and produce physical media, just from a cost perspective. So that's why the video games have taken that direction as well. So my 2 cents.
There you go. Ditto. Make it 4 cents. No.
Eric, what's your thought? Oh, too easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're pretty much right, and it is kind of a shame. Like, I know I used to work at a video store, and so I know some people. I still am in contact with some of those people that have so many movies, like, it's ridiculous. I am not one of those people. I may watch a movie one time, I know what's going to happen, so I can't enjoy it the same way the second time. But I know so many people who make, certain days of the year where they have to watch an entire series of specific things, or certain months, whatever it is, and they have everything. So in case their internet is out, they're good to go. But I think Larry has a good point, an unfortunate reality of the evolution of how technology is going, where streaming, as much as we kind of hate it sometimes, is really kind of taken over. It is convenient. It is faster, but there is something about having that physical copy, the collectors and stuff like that. So I resonate with that, completely understand it. But unfortunately, I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I have a feeling working towards getting streaming to a point where you will get that quality, and potentially even beyond, just because they're not actually making physical discs in the future at some point, be crazy to think about, but we'll see. Time will tell, ultimately.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good question, though.
That was a very interesting question. Yeah. Ellen Dawson has a comment here. Sony 360 spatial sound mapping is legit. Really enjoying my AN1000. Yes, I agree. It's so cool. It is one of those things that I just love just setting it up, because the way that it kind of plays all the tones, it just, anyway, nerd, lame thing. But I've heard that setup so many times. I still enjoy it, though.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm sure it's your ringtone now, right? Yeah.
No, but that would be kind of cool, actually. It wouldn't be the same effect, though.
No, I wouldn't.
Let's see. Big Phil made a comment. I can schedule a TV turn-off time via Apple HomeKit via my Apple TV 4K. Interesting. Yeah, that'd be like HDMI CEC type of connection, as Michael Beckman is talking about as well, too. So that's interesting. I would be interested to see, what you could do with like Google Activities, because then potentially adding in voice command to like set it up or activate it for certain days versus not, or something. I don't know. There might be some cool ways you can kind of do that.
Right.
Let's see. What else do we have? The Audio Boy 2024. The Bravia Quad receive any updates anytime soon? I do not know, actually. Obviously, Sony's always looking at what might be needed in firmware updates, whether it's performance-based or anything else. Unfortunately, we don't get like a schedule of that sort of a thing. And we just kind of wait and see what comes out. And honestly, sometimes we actually don't really get any notification unless you have that product and it says, hey, I'm updating. And you're like, oh, cool. Like
Yep.
the Alpha 7.4, I don't know if you know this, Larry, had an update just a couple days ago. I haven't done it yet myself, but that's a thing. So there you go, John.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
Yeah.
But I do have a question. Audio Boy, what would you like the update to have? I mean, is there?
Oh, good question.
Are you just in general thinking if you're just looking for more improvements on the already great performance, or is there something specific or an issue that you're hoping is addressed? I just would like to know.
It's a good question. I do want. I wanted to share this though too because
I have the quad.
Because
so I'm curious.
I'm guessing Larry and I have a delay. I'm guessing. Okay. I'll say just on that, he's super delayed. All right, so I just wanted to just share this just because as I was setting up today, it kind of made me like, I just want to share this because it's kind of cool. Those of you who are camera people, Andrew, maybe, maybe the only one, I don't know, but anybody else who's watching this. So two things. I know this isn't really a Sony thing, but I just wanted to share this because Larry has a lot of reflection on his glasses. At certain angles. So do I. So I actually have a polarizer on mine. So I just want to show you guys what it does. So as I turn it, you should start to see how bright the side of my face gets versus smoothing it out. And if I get the angle right, let me get the reflection on my glasses. Oh, yep. There it is. And there it goes. So I don't know.
So that's what that does.
Because a lot of people don't know what a lot of filters can do on your cameras, and that's what a polarizer will do. And I want to share another feature. This is on the Alpha 7.4 and select other cameras. I'm going to change my shutter speed really quick because right now I'm not at 1/60. I'm at 62.6. There's a reason for that. So this light that's behind me here, if I change my frame rate, start to see it get a little wonky, like banding. So this camera has a variable shutter capability. Since you're zooming in on me, because LEDs can be a little tricky if you're trying to record, and the variable shutter allows you to dial in very, very precisely. So very cool feature. So if you're ever in a situation trying to record place that has LED lighting, it can be a big difference. So the more you know.
Derek, you know a good place that people can go to find helpful tips and tricks just like that one?
Oh, no, Larry, tell me more.
Because that wasn't staged. No, just for those of y'all that don't know, we do Sony Simplified live sessions that we are doing multiple times each week, where we take a product or a category and it's like, here's one cool thing that we want to show you, and not only here's what it does, but here's how to do it yourself. So just like what Derek just walked through as that example, on either our Sony Simplified or our In Focus shows that we do with Ranieri, you would see the menu feed, walk through the menu dive, and you would get a step-by-step tutorial on how to do some of these things. So if you haven't already, check out some of those live streams.
Yeah, good call. Good call on that one. All right, let's start to aim to wrap up. So if any questions, let us know. Rob is going to run through the ones that exist here, and we'll try to catch up where we're at. I see POC Angel is back. Welcome back. But starting with Michael Beckerman question. If someone were to hop on a plane and fly over to Japan, does Sony offer any tours for the public at their HQ and design facilities at all? This is something you can request or schedule. So there are, I don't know how open it is. I know the lobby, is it open? It's open, right, John?
Yeah.
Like the lobby of the building, you can go in and there's like a lot of cool stuff to look at, but it's not like there's going to be like people that will like walk you through any of it or give you a tour. And as far as like the rest of it, behind the scenes stuff, Not for the public, unfortunately, but that would be pretty awesome. But yeah, honestly, I'll say this. If somebody here, maybe I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I'm going to be very general here. If somebody is legitimately heading over there, send us an email. We know people, and maybe there would be somebody that's out there that might be able to at least walk you through some of it. I do not know for sure if that's the case, but I can say that we can ask. That's what I'll say, because we do know people that are there. So cool.
Derek knows people.
Hey, I'm very clear that we can ask, and it would be cool if it happens. I don't know if it would or will, but
no promise. Yeah,
no promises.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because it would be cool to see that stuff. All right, let's see. Sony Pictures Core is great, but still doesn't match the Blu-ray, especially in the audio department. You have any thoughts on that, Larry? That was some big.
Again, audio, of course. I think a lot of what I've seen from Pure Stream has leaned heavy into the overall picture quality performance. Sometimes your theater system can also give it a boost. In my office, when I watch Sony Pictures Core, I'm using the quad, which I've been very happy with that. But I'm in a 10x10 space with the quad and the SW5, so it doesn't take much to make this room sound nice. No, it's not. It's a 10x10 room, dude. It's not a flex. Anyway, but yeah, I think that is when we talk about what the growth could be from streaming. I think that audio is there. I think concentration is picture quality first, because that's obviously sort of what the most obvious thing that you see. Sony Pictures Core offering Atmos and DTSX, and if you didn't know that, you have to go into the menu and make those changes. But having those audio formats supported help a lot. But it's the PQ that really got my attention. And again, I think it's just the early stages of what we can do. Nice. And we're the only ones that have Pure Stream, for the record. I just thought I would throw that out there as a reminder. That is right now we are the only, and it's an exclusive tech that we have that no one else does. So there you go.
It's a good little add-on there. I like that.
Shout out to SPE. Yep.
Cool. All right.
Pictures Entertainment. Sorry.
Acronyms.
All
right. POC Angel. Here's some pretty good questions.
All right.
How can Sony compete in the 83-inch department versus, let's say, an LG G5, given no QD OLED? Can Sony improve what's currently out there? That's an interesting question. You want to stew on that one for a minute?
Here's what I can say. Here's what I can say. I haven't seen the G5 yet, and I know that it's going. Oh, I just realized I have to be careful what I say. I know that it's touting new tech with respect to OLED technology. I think that it's safe to say, this isn't a disparaging statement, I think it's safe to say that their quick shift and change in OLED technology is to try to better compete with QD OLED. I know we don't have an 83-inch QD OLED. Price will always be a factor, of course. Not our position, my opinion. There you go. My opinion on this is, the better question is, how good can the Bravia 9 get at 85 inches? So if you want to look at what I think is a realistic comparison, and there's been some online reviews that have compared even our award-winning A95L to the award-winning Bravia 9, right, here recently. My question would be, how long can the G series, what more can it do that a Bravia 9 can't do? Understand Bravia 9 has quantum dot. It's a mini LED. It's got ridiculous brightness, but also has dynamic backlight control with our XR backlight master drive technology. And if you tweak settings and adjust settings, I'm not saying that a mini LED can be an OLED, but I will tell you, as Derek and I were talking about earlier, a little bit of black adjust and a little bit of black level, you could really do wonders with the richness of a Bravia 9. And I'm speaking from first person account. So I would like to see that television versus a Bravia 9 and see categorically which one scores higher in different areas. So I did not answer the question, but I just took that opportunity to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it is a tough thing to really answer, and I think the perspective that I want to give was something that a situation I had just recently. Most of the people here are those of you watching are more likely going to be the people who are like specs, techs, and give me all the stuff, which I'm here. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm one of you, and thank you all for being here again. But something that really kind of made me think a little bit differently was, I think it was just Sunday. My wife and I were watching a show on my A95L. At the time, it was Dolby Vision Bright, and brightness maybe at like 35, I think, at the time. And we started watching the show, and she's like, "It's so bright." I was like, "Oh, it kind of was. It kind of was a little bit too bright." So I actually changed it to Dolby Vision Dark. And just kind of tweak some things around. So it still looked absolutely incredible. But I think sometimes people really just focus on the brightness, which, yes, it does add an extra level of immersion in some scenes, intensity, depending, obviously it can possibly show more of the creator's intent if it matches, obviously, what they're trying to show. Thanks to processing, it's not just brightness that does that, but it's how it's processed. But I think there's so many people that don't need that it's not as important. Now, I'm not going to say that, I don't know Sony's behind the scenes. Oh, if we look at this and this is the direction we're going to go. I don't really know what those talks are or how they plan that out. But I think for my wife is the average consumer who knows what a TV is, knows if a picture looks good, and can compare A and B and say, well, that one looks a little better than this because of this, and that one looks better than that because of XYZ, whatever. But generally speaking, she's totally happy with my 950G that I have because she doesn't need all that extra brightness that we've come to see. So yeah, maybe, it is going to be a competitive space in different ways, but I think for the majority of people, it's not as important, but it is for people like us. So no, it's a tough one to see is, do you invest in specific tech? And I know obviously QD-OLED has different manufacturing, so that might be a factor as well. Did we lose Larry? Oh, okay. I was like, he just disappeared. I don't know. I don't know if that really answers the question. Ultimately, we're going to have to kind of wait and see. But also, it's the whole. When it comes to the TV, it's the end result that matters, rather than all the stuff that makes it isn't as important as the final result. So we'll have to take that into account as well. So we'll see. And then there was a follow-up question to that too. What do you think the chances are of there ever existing an 83-inch QD-OLED in the market, Sony or not, in the future? More or less than 50% chance? Honestly, that's a great question, but that's not something that's up to us, really, because it's up to whoever might potentially make an 83-inch QD-OLED panel and what we do with it or not. So we'll have to see. It's a good question, though. Yeah. Really good questions. I do like that. It's a good questions. Discussion piece.
Agreed.
Let's see. Big Phil. With a Theater U and an A95K, will I also need to purchase the extra dongle thing to get the full experience? Was that you do on that for the 3D audio? Yes.
It was the first one. Yep.
Yeah. Because it was this year with the L series, the first one that had, or even the A95L had the capability of doing it without the WLA NS, is that NS WLA NS7, I think is what it is.
Yep.
Sounds right.
That's it.
That's going to open up the ability to have 3D audio. So is it going to make or break? depends on how interested you are in 3D audio. But yeah, if you do want that experience, yes, it is needed. Let's see. Me Lucky says external drives never work with all my Sonys. Depends on capacity and depends on formatting. If you are curious, you can go to the Sony support website, look up your TV, and it will tell you what, based on your model, because obviously it depends on how old it is, what it can actually support and how it recommends that you format them prior to connecting them to the TV. So take a look at that and see if that helps as well get more of a consistent performance.
And the TV can perform the formatting for you to make sure that it's done in its proper format. Wow, that sounded weird.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes.
Let's see. Link for what?
Yeah.
Oh, now.
Oh, sure.
I don't know what he said. Okay. I'm going to continue on. Let's see. Derek, I think what you're referring to there with those LED lights has to do with pulse width modulation, a way for LED lights to be dimmed by flashing, blinking lights, them very fast. Correct. It's LED. I mean, I'm not a big physics person when it comes to that, but LEDs will flicker. We just can't perceive it, as do many types of lights, just at a rate that we can't perceive. But how it kind of coincides or doesn't with the frame rate of a camera, that's where you can actually see it or not. In some cases, I remember when I learned this the first time at CES, taking a picture of a big display and it had black bars randomly across the whole thing. I was like, what is that? It's because the shutter did not match the rate of the actual display or the LED emission. So with the capability of having variable shutter on select Sony cameras, such as the Alpha 7 IV, I can dial it in specifically to accommodate for that, because I can't change that. Well, to a degree I can based on the color and the brightness. But if that's what it is, I can adjust my camera to it, which is pretty cool. All right, it's just a couple more and we'll wrap up. It looks like, where'd you go? Will Tech is heading out. He says, don't talk to me while I'm gone. I'll check later. Yeah, well, can't respond anyway. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming. You might be gone already, but of course, I'm sure we'll catch you on the next one. Let's see. What else did I miss? Andrew asked a question about free Sony stuff and getting a good discount. There are benefits to working with Sony. I'll say that, but I have this cool pen. Let's show it. I don't have my mode on there. Got that. That's pretty dope. Anyway, an old shirt. Yeah. People do like this shirt.
I'm sorry. I don't have my thing.
Yeah, product showcase is
there
on.
You go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. That was a good one.
What is that? Velvet? Yes, it is. Velvet.
But yeah, it's one of those things where honestly, we're gonna buy this stuff anyway because we talk about it and we love it. So, you know, we've put some investment into it. That's for sure. The pen can write upside down. To a degree, I guess it can, but it's not a space pen. All right. Michael Beckman says, the way the creator intended. Exactly. Michael Beckerman says, the rumor is that new Sony Bravia OLED model is going to support 4-layer tandem OLED tech. Rumor only at this point. Of course, one model may also support 2nd-gen MLA as well. You know, you're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Daniel Flores. Hi, guys. Doing work here as usual. Wow, I can't see this one. As he says, I see. I literally had to. Okay, anyway. Question: will the new Sony TVs endorse the same auto HDR and ALLM features for us gamers? Thanks again for an awesome show. Well, thank you so much for being here, Daniel Flores. Let's see. As far as new features on TVs, we will have to wait and see, of course.
Ooh,
auto HDR and ALLM are like some of those de facto features that I can't expect will ever go away.
Right.
Because they're just kind of like par for the course, I guess, at this point.
Expected.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Did I see new Sony fidget spinner pens yet? So much fun. I haven't. I may somewhere have an actual Sony fidget spinner, though. I think I still have one. I might. Those are from a while ago. Yeah. Awesome. Alan says size and immersion will be a bigger factor for average person and PQ. 100-inch LED, that's good for half the price of OLED. At 85-inch will win with the average buyer. Yeah, generally speaking, yeah, I agree. It's one of those things that it's tough. I mean, I worked in retail stores with this stuff, and it's so interesting to see the range of people's interest. And in the early days of OLED, like people were like so blown away by what they called sharpness, even though it wasn't a sharpness. It was that contrast difference that made such a difference. But as LED continues to get closer and closer to that black floor that OLED is at, which is the limit, they're approaching that, but they're increasing the highlights dramatically, which OLED is working on as well. But sometimes the intensity of that brightness really can just really be more of an impact, I think. Yeah. I think there's more of a reaction to somebody shining a flashlight in your eyes where you're like, ugh, that's too much, versus something being so dark that you're kind of like squinting to see it.
And you know what else? And I don't, it's very interesting with that, because I think you and I have this conversation all the time, because you have a dedicated space where you really watch your OLED, fully light controlled, you have bias lighting and all of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. My TV, my OLED is in like the brightest room in the house, which it shines through and it looks great. But also my mini LED TV is in an equally bright room. And there, I do have the preference. I do prefer, I mean, this is Sony versus Sony, right? But I do prefer watching my mini LED in the brightest times of the day, because I just feel like I get a better impact. That's just me, right? I'm just saying. So, and when we're talking about this, we oftentimes compare OLED versus LED, and we have this like baseline of what the room conditions are, or how light or how dark they are, right? But if you piped in a whole bunch of light in a space, and like my wife doesn't like window coverings, it skews my situation. It skews my opinion of mini LED v OLED, because of the conditions I have at home, right? And anyway, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I know you're super OLED, but I think it's because of how you watch or where you watch your content, where I lean on the mini LED side because of how and where I watch my content, which is very interesting. So,
and that's the thing is it does vary a lot. And I think sometimes we always like the things we like. I know it sounds weird, but when you like something, you always gravitate towards it. And sort of like, what's the bias, where it's like you always look for the good out of something because it's what you like. I forget the bias name for that, but
confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. Thank you so much. Yes, because it's sort of like this thing where when OLED really kind of took off, and it was called the best technology because it was the only one that could get to the black floor. People had in their mind that it is the best, so they were seeking it. But honestly, I remember my time and like asking people like, okay, how bright is your room? When do you watch? And people like, oh, I watch only during the day, and I like to watch movies on occasion. I'm like, well, an OLED may not be the best answer for you because they're not as bright as LEDs. And obviously things have changed over the many years, but some people would be actually disappointed. Like, I thought it was supposed to be the best. Like, well, depends on what you're looking for. It really kind of depends. Everybody has their own preference. And I know, I don't know, but I would assume that a lot of the people that are here are kind of looking at those spec numbers and then anticipating because the number is higher, it is better. But ultimately, that's part of the puzzle, but it's not the end result, because again, it does come into, here's its capability. Well, question, does it always hit that? Is it accurate when it does hit that? Is it sacrificing something in order to hit that? So it's always the end result that's going to make the end picture that we actually enjoy. And for the average consumer, they don't need an A95L Bravia 9. Many will want it, but it's like, cost versus value, that whole thing. So.
Derek,
I don't know.
I'm
I'm
just
going this
saying.
like rabbit hole of this.
No. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This is perception versus reality. What you're talking about, and I was just sitting here thinking, like the Bravia 9. We know how bright that TV gets, right? My brightness setting is set to 20 on this TV in cinema. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you were just talking earlier about you having yours set to like even on Dolby Vision Dark set on 30 or 35, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like we want a high performance sports car, but all we do is go to the grocery store. It's very interesting how we get caught up in that. It's so funny. Anyway,
People are
think
weird.
of that. Yeah, we are.
That's a good analogy to that, because that is very true. I am not using my TV to its full extent, just as you are, and it's often times that's where we hear people comparing. Well, the highlights here versus the highlights there. I'm like, it looks incredible for what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. I don't. Everybody perceives things differently, and subjective. I want to, that got to respect that. But all right, let's start wrapping up because we have another call coming up in a few minutes. Okay. So wrapping up the last few questions.
I have to, because Daz says not allowing blinds is called for divorce. Look, I mean, do you see this? These are semi blackout behind me, right? Like, I don't know, 40% shades, and they're bright. This is divorce would have been a great option, but I probably would have lost more than
great option. I might have
you know what I mean? That. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah,
it's an option at this point.
It's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. I got the garage I wanted. So you obviously in any relationship you negotiate and you compromise. So, but yes, true. Sorry, too funny.
All right.
Daniel Flores has a question. Is that the one? Me? Okay. Yeah. So guys, will the CMU Bravia cam work with the new upcoming TVs? It's perfect for when my kid comes too close to my X95L. First of all, shout out to X95L and shout out for you using your Bravia cam for that kids or the proximity notification. We can't confirm or deny. Not allowed to speak about future unannounced products. But there's a lot of uses for Bravia cam. If you have not taken a trip down the Ambient Optimization Pro rabbit hole with your cam on, do that for picture settings and audio adjustment in real time. Cool.
That's so cool.
Oh, it's so cool. I don't know. We'll see. I love the product. We'll see. Before I get myself in trouble, we'll see.
I was speaking of, just laugh at Andrew's comment. New show, Sony relationship support. And how Sony can improve it, right? There you go.
Should be a segment. Like there should be a segment.
Oh goodness, I love it. I do want to very quickly address Mozart's bite-sized guide. There was a comment how I liked Japan. Was it my first time there? Yes, it was my first time there. It was absolutely incredible. I really wish I could call out a specific food that I'm a little disappointed that somebody never told me about. That's incredible. It's going to be super vague, but their food is incredible there, and it's awesome. They are a very nice, very efficient, and very well maintained city in Tokyo. Is awesome. That was the only place I got to go, but it was awesome. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. Plane ride was a little rough because it's long, but well worth it.
Is it safe to say that Derek did not have hamachi while he was there? Probably not. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry.
So I think that wraps it up, at least for today. So
I think it does. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, again, so much for the support and the questions, the comments. I do love it. We want to continue to expand this as we go, as much as we love seeing the same people here, which is awesome. We do want to expand as well. So if you know some people who are interested in just kind of hanging out, talking about this stuff, like let them know. More subscribers is always good too. We did hit that 100,000, so let's shoot for 150 or 200,000 now at this point. But yeah, I'll address this very quickly since it did come up, Michael Beckerman, because you did mention that you were going to bring that up. Thank you for reminding me. Did you ever find out any more about that issue, the USB 3.0 USB adapter issue on the A95L? So nothing specifically about that. In my research that I have so far, the TVs aren't necessarily designed to handle those. They're for other devices. So it's probably a bigger power draw over time than is the TV is really kind of prepared for, and for safety purposes, it may shut off. But I have not confirmed that. That's my assumption on it, because everything I said when connecting devices to your TV and looking for different accessories and using the USB, at no point do they mention capabilities of using an Ethernet adapter, even though technically it does work. So my guess is just it's an excess power draw on the TV that's causing it to do, kind of say, hey, whoa, this is potentially could get into damage land, so let's shut down. But I'll see if I can verify that 100%. So still in process. So good question though. All right, that said, thank you guys again so much. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week, right? You have anything going on besides from work? All right. And the following Monday. And yeah, and I do want to plug again, thank you, Larry, for bringing it up earlier. If you haven't seen them already, we are doing more live shows about a lot of different topics. So if you're interested in some of the other categories and want to hop in one of those, ask some questions, you would definitely feel free to do so. And always come back and see us and hang out with us, and we'll chat about some cool stuff. So thank you guys so much. Be well, be good to each other. And Larry will close us out with something else that's profound and life-changing.
Peace. See you guys next time. Thank you.
There you go. Take care.